أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده نبينا محمد المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My topic with you today is related to the resuming of salat, resuming of prayer for a menstruating woman. This is a very important topic. This issue confuses many Muslims. With the help and guidance for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, I will try to summarize it in a very simple and clear manner in a few minutes, inshallah. My brothers and sisters, the question is, if a menstruating woman becomes pure before sunset, should she only pray Asr or should she pray Zuhur and Asr? Likewise, if she becomes pure at the time of the Isha prayer, should she pray only the Isha prayer or should she pray Maghrib with it, means with the Isha? Two scholarly opinions or two scholarly views on this. The first one is the Hanafi school of thought. The Hanafis are of the view that she is only obligated to offer the prayer the time of which she caught up with, because the time for the first prayer is over. In this case, the time of Zuhur is over, the time of Maghrib is over. So all what she has to do is to pray only Asr or to pray only Isha. And therefore she is excused, so she does not have to make it up. A renowned contemporary scholar favored this view, that she only has to offer the prayer the time of which she caught up with, and she does not have to join to it the prayer that came before it. Means, as for what came before it, it is not obligatory upon her. The second view is the view of the majority of scholars and some of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam companions, Sahaba. According to them, if a woman becomes pure before the time for prayer ends, then she must offer that prayer and the one that may be joined to it. Means, it becomes obligatory upon a woman who stops menstruating to perform the prayer of the time she is in, and also the prayer of the previous time, if it can, means the prayer, if it can be joined with the current prayer while traveling. So, a woman who stops menstruating during the time of Asr must pray both Asr and Zuhur. A woman who stops menstruating during the time of Isha must pray both Isha and Maghrib. Normally, under certain circumstances, such as traveling, etc., Zuhur and Asr can be joined together. Likewise, Maghrib and Isha can be joined. So, my brothers and sisters in Islam, there are 5 possibilities and scenarios in this regard. Number 1, menstruation stops during Fajr time. In this case, she has to perform only Fajr Salat. Performing the Fajr prayer becomes obligatory upon her, only Fajr Salat. Scenario number 2, menstruation stops during Zuhur time. Menstruation stops during Zuhur time. In this scenario, all what she has to do is to pray Zuhur prayer only. Performing the Zuhur prayer becomes obligatory upon her. Scenario number 3, which we need to concentrate a little bit, which confuses many people. Menstruation stops during Asr time. In this scenario, performing the Zuhur and Asr prayer, performing the Zuhur and Asr prayers becomes obligatory upon her, according to the view of the majority of scholars and the fatawas from by some of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam companions. So in this scenario, menstruation stops during Asr time. So performing the Zuhur and Asr prayers becomes obligatory upon her according to this view. Scenario number 4, menstruation stops during Maghrib time. Menstruation stops during Maghrib time. In this scenario, performing the Maghrib prayer becomes obligatory upon her during the Maghrib time. Scenario number 5 is similar to scenario number 3. Menstruation stops during Isha time. A menstruation stops during Isha time. In this scenario, performing the Maghrib and Isha prayers becomes obligatory upon her. Means she has to pray Maghrib and to pray Isha, even though her menstruation stops during Isha time. So, if she becomes pure before sunset, then she should pray Zuhur and Asr. And if she becomes pure at the time of Isha, then she should pray Maghrib and Isha. She should pray Maghrib and Isha. But if she becomes pure after the time for Fajr, Zuhur or Maghrib begins, she only has to offer one prayer, namely prayer at the time of which she become pure, Fajr or Zuhur or Maghrib, because these prayers cannot be joined to anything that comes before them. Let me repeat this one. If a woman becomes pure after the time for Fajr, after Fajr, she becomes pure. Zuhur or Maghrib begins. She only has to offer one prayer, namely prayer at the time of which she becomes pure, Fajr or Zuhur or Maghrib, because these prayers cannot be joined to anything that comes before them. We cannot join Zuhur and Fajr, and we cannot join Asr and Maghrib. I think we all know this and all is clear, inshallah ta'ala. So to sum up, my brothers, my sisters in Islam, if a woman offers only the prayer, the time of which she caught up with, inshallah ta'ala, according to scholars, there is no sin on her, because the issue is one where there is a difference of scholarly opinion. Scholars differed on this. So if a woman decided to offer only the prayer, the time of which she caught up with, let's say only Asr, she becomes pure during the Asr time, and she decided to pray only Asr, according to scholars, inshallah, there is no sin on her, because the issue is one where there is a difference of scholarly opinion, difference of opinion among the scholars. However, according to scholars also, in order to be on the safe side, following the view of the majority of scholars and offering the two prayers together will be better. To be on the safe side, if she becomes pure during Asr time or during Maghrib time, and she decided and she pray Maghrib, she pray Zuhur and Asr together, or she pray Maghrib and Isha, that is better for her, according to scholars. But if she decided to pray only Asr or only Isha, inshallah ta'ala, there is no sin on her, because the issue is one where there is a difference of opinion among the scholars. اللهم زدنا علما وألحقنا بالصالحين اللهم زدنا علما وألحقنا بالصالحين اللهم زدنا علما وألحقنا بالصالحين اللهم زدنا علما وألحقنا بالصالحين. May Allah grant us proper knowledge of our deen. May Allah grant us proper knowledge of our religion. May Allah grant us proper knowledge and increase our knowledge and give us taqwa هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا والحمد لله رب العالمين.